the name of your talk show again? I'm sorry.
Shypanther and Friends. Okay.
Okay.
Hold on, see me for 1 second. You on Facebook already, Gail?
I believe so.
It
Yep, it's
says it's
saying we're
streaming
live.
live. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay. Let me try one more thing so I can see it too. Okay, we're good. All right, everybody. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Everybody ready to go?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is Shy Panther and Friends, everybody. Welcome. Tonight is Thursday, September 10th. This is the first show of September this year. And it's my first show since I retired from the city. So I'm pretty excited. We have a wonderful guest with us. And if this is your first time checking out Shy Panther and Friends, I just want to tell you that the whole reason we are here is to provide quality programming. It is our goal to uplift, to educate, and to empower. And I hope that's what we've been doing on the past shows. Make sure you reach out to us at shypanthermedia@gmail. That's one word. And let me know how you like the show or not. And plus, take part in the conversation of our show tonight. Our special guest is Ifatola Tifashay. And I hope I got it right. And our guest panelist is Marcy Johnson. We normally have Clarence Thomas with us, but he is out of town. He'll be back next week. So sit back, relax, everybody. Make sure you share, like the page, and support us. The information is on the screen, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So, welcome, everybody.
Thank you.
Nice to have you come on in
Thank
here
you,
with us
Gail.
tonight. All right, so I'm just gonna call you Tola because you said people call you Tola for short. So
Mm-hmm.
how you doing and what have you been up to?
Oh wow. I've been up to a whole lot. Um, Let me see. Since I don't know how long it's been since I've seen you, but I have started a few business ventures. I've did a lot of traveling. Um, and that's mostly, what I do. And the traveling, especially to Nigeria, it's been mostly, business and
Oh, okay.
spiritual related. So that's been enough to keep busy besides, family.
Right. Okay, so for the people who don't know, we have
Mhm.
another one of our former colleagues with us here tonight. Um, we have some pretty incredible people who worked at the City of Chicago Office of Emergency Management and Communications, and there's still a lot of great people who work there. But we had a few who actually escaped and went on to build their lives. I mean, there's a whole lot of living to be done outside of that place. And she's just one person to prove that to us tonight. So you guys, make sure you join in the conversation. We're going to get this thing rolling. But I just want to ask, starting out with your name, it's very different.
Mhm.
And you did mention that you've been traveling to Nigeria. So where does your name come from and what does it mean?
Tifashay, it means Ifa's wealth is enough. And you know what my birth name was. My birth name, my government name. And that has changed since my spiritual journey. I have been on this path of African spirituality for, oh my goodness, I've been on this path since I was about 21. And so, plus the age that I am now. So, I've been on this path for over 20 years.
Okay.
Um, oh my goodness. And so, that's where the name change comes from. So, with different spiritual initiations, you're given a name, and it continues to add on and build like in the Muslim faith, they continue to add on to their names. You might have Muslims with long names, but each spiritual initiation, you get a name. And Ifatola came from my initiation to Ifa, also Tifashay as well. And so I can relate more to an African name that had meaning just due to the various changes in my life. And I decided to change it to that. So that's where
Great.
it comes from. Mhm.
That sounds great. So
Oh,
is your name Nigerian or is
It
not
is. It's
Nigerian so much,
Nigerian.
but to break it down even further, like a
It's
particular
Yoruba.
Yoruba. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Yoruba. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm guessing that one of the businesses that you are the owner of, creator, founder, Tola's Creations.
Yeah,
Now,
that's
okay.
go ahead.
So I just looked at a couple of the items and they did look like they were were they originally made in Nigeria or and as an import or
The only thing that's imported are the artworks, which may be paintings or statues, wood carvings, things like that. I do have some spiritual family over there in Nigeria. They are wood carvers. I go to different art galleries and support different artists there. I do have some artists there who they're like world renowned. They did works for Lauryn Hill. They have stuff in galleries in New York. And so it's basically just supporting artists there. I'll purchase their art and resell it here. And so when it gets to like head wraps, all of my fabrics are imported from Nigeria. And anything that I make, textiles, anything with textiles are created by me. So be it jewelry, head wraps, things like that, it's all made by me.
pillows, which I
Yeah,
have
pillows
one
too.
of.
Yep, pillows. Yeah, I forgot about the pillows. How did I mention pillows? Yes, home decor. Look, yes, home decor. I have a sister. She's very active in Inglewood and the Tanika. She does a lot with the folded map project. So she had me come
nice.
and I made curtains and shower curtains and pillows. She just had me come and look at this color scheme of our home and create a lot of stuff for her. So yeah. So I do all of that.
Okay, so you do special requests? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I did. I did when I was first starting, I did all of that stuff. And I did it for her, but I've gotten so busy that it's really time consuming. So
Yeah.
I just kind of stick with like the simpler things like jewelry, which is like quick to make, head wraps is quick to make.
Yeah.
Clothing, nah, that'll all be imported from Nigeria. But the simple stuff is all still created by me.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So do you have a store where like people can come to, or is it all online or for
It's
the
all online. Everything is online. www.tolascreations.com. And since we mentioned spirituality, I've also branched into selling different wares and goods that we use for spiritual purposes. It's like I guess what the Christians would go to like a Bible store for their certain things. There are certain spiritual
Mhm.
goods and items that we use, and this is all imported, of course. And so I've branched into selling that type of stuff as well. So
Okay.
yeah. Mhm.
So and all of this came from well over the years, the spiritual growth and journey.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I think I've done so many things in life. But I've always had an eye for fashion. Um I love the colorful fashion and fabrics of Ankara and just our culture. We have a colorful culture, period, from the way we do our hair to the clothes that we wear. It's just and it's just beautiful to me. And why not just go back to the root?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I like that you decided to support the artists
Hmm.
from Nigeria. I
Hmm.
think that's really, really great. I think that's a great connection for
Hmm.
us.
Hmm.
Um, so, can you talk a little bit about the difference in spirituality, like how it's influenced your life so much as opposed to?
Absolutely. Oh, jeez. Look, we'll be on here for hours talking about
Oh,
that.
well, just a little bit. A
Okay,
couple
but
things, say a couple
yes,
of
it's
things.
it's definitely influenced my life in a very positive way. Um, like I said, I started on this path when I was pretty young. Some people are born into it, and I wish that I was. However, it really started out by just getting spiritual readings done, consultations, whatever, you want to call it. And in the process of getting readings, of course, there's the word, it's called Ebo, EBO. That's the spiritual works that you have to do behind getting readings just to bring balance to your life, right?
Mhm.
Everything, because we view things as balancing polarities, hot and cold, dark and
Yeah.
light, positive, negative. So, everything is always about balance. If you look at even at a Nigerian dish, you're going to have something really spicy. You're going to also have something bland. And it's still all about balance. And so, just getting the spiritual works done to bring balance into my life, um, and seeing how effective it has become for not just me, but for my children. Like even all of my whole family, my children are even initiated as priests as well. So this is pretty much all that they've known. Um, my oldest, he knew a little bit about, church, but basically this is the life that they know. And it has affected my life in such a positive way
Mhm.
because not only does it bring balance by just trying to fix the different things going on in your life, but it also causes you to work on your inner self and your character and your development of yourself and of your consciousness. So, um, I don't know how long a person can continuously get work and expect to see changes if you're not working on your inner self as well. So
Right.
it takes some work from yourself also.
Right. That
Hmm.
sounds great to me.
Hmm.
Very interesting. Marcella, you have any questions or?
Yes,
Because
and
I have
comments
a whole lot more.
because Tola and I used to talk a lot in regards to religion and stuff when we were working together, and she's very, very knowledgeable and spiritual person. We've had some really deep conversations in the past. And I did have the pleasure of having a reading once before with Tola, and that was an experience, very positive experience for me, and it changed my views on a lot of things. And I don't think I would say I don't embrace. I don't consider myself a Christian, put it that way. But it was just that inside that I've always been searching for anyway. I have not totally embraced the Yoruba religion either, but I still believe that there's a higher power. But what I want to touch on is, as Tola is, I know you probably get a lot of pushback being a black woman and you don't subscribe to Christianity. And number two, people see it as what they call it, witchcraft and all this other stuff, because they compare, even in researching, I looked how they compare to Santa Maria, a lot of the other Caribbean religions, even compared to what is it called, Salobo or Shambe or something like that in Cuba. Um, how do you? Uh, she, number one, she's tough, so I know she don't let it rock her. It don't get off her square. So, but I just want her to touch on that a little bit. How do she? How do you not really deal with it, but how do you kind of like make people think and just show them that what they're so fearful of and what they embrace, people can be what they want. I'm trying to find the words, but people can be what they want, but how do you get them to kind of realize, okay, there's nothing witchy about what I believe, and why is it that all black people have to assign to Christianity?
Okay. Well, those
Should
are
I say
wonderful
this? Why
questions.
do people always assume that we have to all be Christians?
Okay. Those are wonderful questions. And when it comes to my spirituality, my way of life, because it's not a religion, it's a way of life. We're talking about something that predates Christianity. We're talking about several thousands of years old, and we've been Hollywooded, right, to believe, because we as people of color, we have so much spiritual power, and our oppressors, our colonizers were very aware of that. They were aware, even when I took a trip there to Nigeria, my very first trip, we went to the point of no return in Nigeria, and in Badagry. So we went to the point of no return, and we had to take like a speedboat to this island. And, back during the slave times, there was a ferry that will take these slaves to this island. And the island is very hot. So it's like no trees, the sun is beaming down. So you have to trek across this island to get to the shore where the vessels, the larger slave ships waited, for the cargo, right? And when we get to the middle of the island, there's a well. It's called I think it's the attenuation well. And in this well, nobody still drinks from this well to this day, because we're very trusting people. And we showed these colonizers, white people, Spaniards, whoever they were that were our oppressors, how to use our magic. We showed them how to make jars, and I call it magic, but it's our spiritual power, and that's our spiritual force that we just naturally have, right? And so we showed them these things, and what they did, they used it against us. And so they put herbs in this water, in the well water, and it would make you forget. You would lose your memory. Because if you wonder, like, why didn't they fight back? Why didn't they do this? Why didn't they do that? So when they drink the water, because they're thirsty from trekking across this island, once they drink from the well, when they get on the boat, they lose their memory. So they don't even remember how to get back home, right? So I say that to say, that's a powerful thing. If you look at the slave revolts, the Haitians, they were calling down all those deities, and that's who gave them the power to help them fight over in Haiti. And basically most of the revolts that happened, they were calling down the spirits of their ancestors, the African deities or whatever, what I'm saying, it is that they worship. And That's where our power was. So if they were killed for practicing their religious beliefs, so when the slaves were taken to Cuba, it became Santeria because they mixed the African spirituality with the religion of the colonizers, which was Catholicism. When they went to Brazil, it was Candomblé. So basically, we were forced to stop practicing. And so they made it appear evil to us, or, you know what I'm saying? So they made it appear evil to us so that, you know, we could stop practicing, because that's where our power came from. And the power to stop them, the power to fight, the power to do a lot of things. So, you know, we were forced to worship a God that looks like somebody else. So if you worshiping a God that looks like somebody other than you, then you're going to begin to believe that that person or that particular race is God. So that's where that comes from. How do I deal with people that look at me in a negative light? When I first started on this path, I'll admit, I was afraid of what people thought. So I kept it a secret, right? So I did what I did. I was, you know, a closet practitioner. And I don't know what made me say to hell with what everybody think, because at the end of the day, it's about me and my path and my destiny. And this is what my destiny is, you know? And so I don't care if somebody views me in a certain light, because at the end of the day, it is what it is. And usually it's turned out that those people who have said so many negative things about me, I promise you later, they always come back to me for some type of help.
Wow.
And it's just, I don't know if that's karmic or whatever you want to call it, but, you know, it just is what it is. And, you know, it's not witchcraft, it's not evil, you know, it's monotheistic, you know, and we worship one God. And we worship one God via many, you know, deities that we call Orisa. And so the best way that I can explain that to you is that if you take a prism and you shine that light through a prism, that light is God. And when you shine that light through a prism, you're going to get a rainbow. So it's red God, it's yellow God, it's yellow, that light is red, that one light, orange, that one light, is green, that one light. No, collectively, it's all of those colors together that make up that one light. And so that one light is God, you know, and God can manifest itself in many ways, which is what he does, which is through forces of nature. And it's all just basically getting back to the root of things. The Orishas are basically nothing but forces of nature. And it's, you know, observing nature, not like just looking at the trees and things like that, but it's just the energies and the ashe, which is the spiritual power of it, and just, you know, manipulating those energies to work on your behalf. And that's basically what it is, you know. And I don't know if I went too deep for y'all or, you know, explained too much, but you know, that's just that's the simplest way that I can put it, you know, for you. And also, I was like, because I knew we were going to talk about it today. This is a book that I recommend everybody purchase. And anybody that asks me questions, anybody that wants to like come and study with me, I tell them to read this book. It's called Finding Soul on the Path of Orisa. You can find it on Amazon for like $13. It's a simple read. It's by Korea. But it's a West African spiritual tradition. And
Okay.
it's really easy. It's an easy read. It's a simple read. It even has a glossary in the back that explains different words that we use, because we might use Yoruba interchangeably with English, especially when we're talking about different things. Some things, there is no English translation for, you know, because words have power, right? And some words are so powerful. Yoruba, it's kind of like you're watering it down when you try to find an English explanation or an English. So when we pray, it's in Yoruba.
So what's the name of it one more time? Finding Soul on the Path.
Finding Soul on the Path, Orisa.
Okay. All right.
And it's about $13 on Amazon. And like I said, it's a very easy read. And I always recommend people that are curious to just read it, you know, go back and read it, read the glossary. It talks about worshiping your ancestors, which is very important. I think I made a post today. That's your first line of defense. Ancestor worship. Why don't we worship our ancestors? When we go into a nail shop or Asian restaurant, they got their little food and incense. The first thing in the morning, they're honoring their ancestors. Why can't we do the same thing?
And that was another question I wanted you to touch on, how important it is to worship your ancestors. We remember them in their death, but we need to remember them in their life as well.
Absolutely.
And some people think, okay, well, you got a shrine, you got pictures of them. Well, we have pictures around our house anyway of our ancestors.
Absolutely.
So what is the difference? What is the difference than setting up something in a corner of your house or something in your house that gives homage to the people before you?
Absolutely.
We do it with having Martin Luther King's birthday. We do it with remembering Malcolm X. We do it with all of that. So there's no big difference. And I don't understand why people think that this is sinful and ungodly. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Lying every Sunday is ungodly and sinful. And then you go back and do the same old things all over again. And I think when you start embracing that,
before you answer,
that you should, you know, really, really consider that.
Right. And before you answer, I just want to say too that I appreciate you so much for talking about this, because I think a lot of us, just as Americans, as the Black community, we don't realize how much we've been brainwashed, how much was taken away from us, more than just removing our persons from where we came from, but we lost everything. We lost an entire culture, and as you said, a way of life and a way we think, and our most primitive, in a good way, of how we knew our lives, how our lives were. We lost everything that we knew to a whole brainwash, a whole, entire reprogramming.
Yes, absolutely.
To their needs. And so I'll stop now.
And we've lost it, but it's still embedded in our DNA. Some people, just like me, I was 21, and what a 21-year-old girl going to do? But you know what? I've always been different. I'll say that, right? I've always been different in a way of operating when it comes to seeing things, feeling things, hearing things, and I'm talking about in the spiritual sense, to the point where my mom, she was kind of scared of that kind of stuff. So I would say certain things to her, and she was like, shut up, girl, be quiet, and things like that. But what's always funny to me is how elders, your grandmother, they could look at a baby and be like, oh, that baby been here before. Now, what you mean that baby been here before? Did we go to heaven, or did we go to hell, or did the baby been here? Which one is it? You know what I'm saying? So there's still a lot of old traditions that are embedded in our DNA. Putting the talcum powder in your bed sheets. You think it's to keep you cool, but there's spiritual reasons behind that. Sometimes we just automatically do things. And pouring libations, pouring out some liquor for your dead homie. that's giving libations to those spirits, but we're still doing things and it's still embedded in us and we don't understand why. But we don't have to hide anymore. We don't have to hide behind other religious systems. You don't have to hide. I mean, everything is open now. And so I felt like I don't have to hide anymore either, regarding my spiritual beliefs, my spiritual practices. It's just been so life-changing. And I think if we went back to our roots in terms of spirituality, we could save so many communities. We could save ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
We could save ourselves by just being in tune. Let's just say you're going to get let's just say you went and got a reading done for your son, right? Your son is kind of wayward, right? You could do things. If this is your child, you can get readings and get spiritual work done on behalf of your child to save your child from shootings, from deaths. You know what I'm saying? Just tell them, listen, you need to do this and this and this and this, and this gonna happen, or and it's like just developing your child and your Ori. Ori is your higher conscious, which is your head, your higher self, and just working on that, working on your care and praying for your son, because prayer still work, but you got to do the work.
Absolutely.
And back to Marcella's question about, or even just her comment about our ancestors. Man, we are ancestors. We've just come back in this life form because I believe in elevated energies and I believe in lower level energy. So if you want to call that heaven, if you want to call it hell, whatever you want to call it, but there's elevated and there's lower level. However, I do know that you come back as someone in your family. And that's why we always believe to raise your children right, do the right things by your children, because do you want to come back through a grandchild with a child that you don't raise in a messed up way? Because that's how your life is going to be. Yeah. So you want to always do the right things. You always want to raise your children, the right way. Try to, just work on character, work on self, work on family, healing generational curses, healing so many things that have went wrong in our generations. And I do that via my spiritual practice. I've healed a lot of ancestors. Some of the ones that even talk about me, oh, that girl doing that over. Even though, girl, I done helped you to be quiet. You know what I'm saying? So you're breaking so many generational curses and you're healing your family. Because we got a lot of stuff that's embedded in us, and we got a lot of stuff that has messed us up over these years. And, nothing happens overnight, but in progress.
But I wanted to just say, too, sometimes we don't listen to our own words because, like you said, we talk about just things in our family, like you said, how some of us mamas and grandmamas can predict, that baby gonna be like this, or she got a veil over her head. How is it that you can believe this in a Christian sense, but yet what you talk about when it goes back to actually the way we worship was taken away from us. Like I just Googled, when did not Christianity come into play, but where did root of Yoruba come from? And in it says that Christianity, and we were Christians and Muslims before. No, we were not. No. And a lot of us believe that we were Muslims before we were brought over here. No, we were not. The only ones that were Muslims were the ones that were taken into slavery by Arabs before the practice of colonization took place, before Spain even hit West Africa. You had Arabs who took blacks into slavery, Africans into slavery, and if that was your father, that's who you ascribed to. You became an Arab. Why do you think a lot of them in Africa, they still, even to this day, Arabs still have African slaves. They still have slaves, but and they did it to not for monetary reasons. They did it because they could, mostly for sex and things like that. I mean, they had eunuchs where by the time they hit puberty, they would cut off their penises so that they could protect the hair of those women. You know what I'm saying?
I just read about that.
When we had, yeah, and even when we had, even when my aunt, two of my aunts, when they passed away, they spoke. I remember coming in one night, and my aunt was like, "Okay, Diddy, who you talking to?" And she was like, "Oh, I'm talking to my grandmama. She waiting on me." So if they can see this and they talk about this, I don't understand why we're so embedded into a religion that was given to us by a slave master. And like you said, with you as a young age, I hid it for years, but I just could not understand. How is it that these people enslaved us and they used this religion against us, and yet we have embraced it more than they have, and we're on our hands and knees all the time, but we're the most downtrodden, mistreated group of people on this continent. And just recently, I had to even kind of separate my Americanism, my Black American, from other groups of people, because even when they come over here, nobody wants to be Black.
Right.
Even the other Blacks around the world, nobody wants to be Black. They separate themselves from us when they get over here. So I feel that once you start embracing the fact that there's more to us spiritually, you're right. I think we will be better off. It's times I don't know how blessed I am or how things come into my life and manifest, and I give thanks to it every single day. Because some things that that come, I'm like, man, I can't believe that happened. And thank you. You know what I'm saying? Just thank you. And I struggled with this religion thing for a long time, but I don't put labels on myself. I have to just decide that there's a higher power than me, and I have to give homage to it every single day, all day long. You know what I'm saying? In order for my life to be just balanced, pretty much balanced. I know there's something out there more powerful than what we're looking at in front of us. And I think that when we start truly subscribing to it, you know, assigning ourselves to it rather, I think we will be better off, because the only thing I can see is that we're not putting ourselves in a position whereas we can be blessed collectively, only individually. We need to be blessed collectively as a whole. And you know how powerful it would be? I mean,
they know it.
Powerful.
They know it. That's why we're in the predicament that we're in, you know, but we just have to, once we could come together and celebrate and preserve the traditions of our ancestors, we'd be a truly powerful people.
Yeah, and I think too, that most people don't think about religion as something that man constructed.
Absolutely.
As opposed to spirituality, which is natural. And
absolutely.
And I think that's what they sold, that's what they forced upon us. And that has been the root of our problems, of the world's problems for many, for forever.
Yes.
Yes. So, and
I agree.
And a lot of why we can't get back to what we need, our spirituality, is because we haven't seriously thought about, and we don't understand that there is a clear difference, and that religion was constructed for a particular reason. You know, so I think that we have to get that back. We have to get our spirituality back. We have to understand those.
And you're absolutely right, because I always tell people, think about that movie, The Book of Eli.
Mm-hmm.
When think about that movie,
Mm-hmm.
the book that he found, the older man, they were the two oldest, and the man who had the book. And when he got that book, he knew he could have control. And what it was saying is, when you have control, when you have religion and you have control over it, you can control the people. Once he lost that book, he lost control. And I'm not saying that this is always the case, but when it has come to slavery and just to enslave people, they would just basically use these tactics, and they use religion as a tactic in order to do that.
Well, the name of the Holy Bible was called nigger when they first produced.
Well, this is my daughter, everyone. She wanted to just jump in real quick and just.
Because everything you're saying is basically true. We are spiritual people. We believe in our ancestors and the spirits to give back. And we
You're frozen,
honor them,
Marcella.
we dance to them, and we feed them, and we give to them to give back to us. Hoodoo, and we are.
Can you hear me now?
No, we lost most of what your daughter said because it froze. So
Oh, it was still coming up on Facebook though. Go ahead.
So what I was saying, I believe in practicing hoodoo and voodoo, because that is the practice of our ancestors, for healing and giving us power and guidance, when it comes to our ancestors and spirits. I do believe there is a higher power, but like you said, religion is definitely man-made. But Christianity was supposed to be based off of faith, from the living God. And a lot of people don't know there are other gods besides, the living God. But I mean, I totally agree. Like, I think our people got lost somewhere along the way. And like you said, when we were sold to come over here to America, because they did not steal us, we were sold by our own people. They gave us the book nigger, which is the Holy Bible. King James was a pedophile, that also wrote in that book. Shakespeare wrote in that book, rewrote that book. A few people rewrote that book. So you never know where that book, the foundation, and what the truth really is in that book. But because it says don't do this and don't do that, but do this and don't do that, that's how they controlled us as a people. They gave us they gave us a faith to believe in, so that we could be controlled, and only controlled by them. So no, that's not what we believed in. We were not Muslims. We were not Christians. We were an ancestor and spiritual faith people, that believed in healing from the earth and things of that sort. And I think we got far from that.
wow. Thank you. Thank you so much for that input. Our people tuning in for Shypanther and Friends tonight. This is another one going down in history. Is a great one for us. And okay, so and I just want you to know that the reason we went into this direction is to show how much um, everything that Tola has done as far as creating her businesses, everything is influenced by how she lives her life. And so I know people are like, oh, she said that we were going to talk about entrepreneurship. We are talking about that, and we're talking about things that influence your life so much more, as Tola said, from the inside out. Because as we all know, as we begin any venture, change begins within. So I think this is great. And any Marcel, you guys have any more questions? Because we don't have any. I don't see any questions on Facebook. We have quite a few people tuned in. So, oh,
I just want to finish because you know, I love hearing from her. And what is your title in Yoruba? And when you said your creations, do you are all those creations just on TolaCreations.com? Your the other things that you do besides just the textiles and stuff?
No, I also have a clothing boutique, and it's QT, the letter Q, the letter T, exclusive boutique, all one word, QTexclusiveboutique.com. And so that's more Western wear, you know, trendy stuff, trendy fashions that you see. But the Tola's Creations, that's geared more so towards African cultural things, spirituality, spiritual goods. And another business venture that I have is medical transport, and that's ASA transport as well. So that's something that I got so much stuff going on, but that's why I'm like, I don't have time to really make anything. So that's just 3 or 4 business ventures that I have. So the medical transport, I have the online clothing boutique, I have Tola's Creations, which is cultural and spiritual goods, and another one, I don't even want to talk about that one just yet, you know, but I'm working on it. So yeah, that's all the entrepreneur stuff that I have going, and it keeps you extremely busy, but grinding for yourself is so much rewarding than hustling and grinding for somebody else. And you know, I will say everybody's not meant to be an entrepreneur. Some people need that structure. Some people need a 9-to-5 structure, or 3 to 11, 11 to 7. Some people need that. And I'm not knocking you for whatever you choose to do, because those 7 to 11, 11 to 7, 9 to 5 people are the ones that help support my business. So,
Right.
you know, do whatever you need to do. Be great at whatever it is that you do. But yeah, so I mean, I love it. I love the entrepreneur life. I don't think if I ever went and worked a 9 to 5 again, it's because I really and truly had to. And honestly, I'm just really blessed and fortunate to be at a position now that I set my life up in a way that honestly I don't have to. I don't think I have to ever again, to be perfectly honest with you. So, and that's all due to being perfectly honest. That's all due to Ifa, my spirituality, my spiritual practice, um, putting in work, spiritual work, as the everything. So the ancestors, the powers that be, the deities, whatever you want to call it, all of this I attribute my way of life, because they made it possible, you know. And so I'm good. Good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I can imagine because you know yourself, you know your
Absolutely.
strengths, you know your weaknesses, you know your purpose.
Mhm.
And that's basically what you need to move forward. So,
Absolutely.
mhm.
Absolutely. It's been fun, y'all. It's been fun.
So much. I learned so much tonight.
When she
So,
said, when she said she had all them jobs, it reminded me of like what
It
when
reminds you of what,
you know how
Marcella?
some black people say, you know how when people have a bunch of jobs or a lot of things they're working on, people always say, "Girl, you must be a Jamaican." You know how
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because
But you know,
Jamaicans have about 2 different jobs, don't they?
they do. You know, they
So
do.
hey, that's what I'm trying to do too. I'm
And
trying. I'm trying to just get that spirituality in order. And I think once you get when you get that thing, it's almost like things just start falling into line. You know what I'm saying? When you become grounded in something that you truly believe in, and because when I just say in my journey, I had so many questions, and I mean, it was like I was just in turmoil internally because I could not just find my place as far as religion. And we all know what religion means. Anything that you do consistently, brushing your teeth every day and whatever is religion. But I just could not find my consistency in what I was brought up in, and which is Christianity. And I just had to, and it seems that the more I researched, the more I studied, or I just wasn't content. There was always a turmoil inside and spiritually. And it's like now I'm a little bit more grounded. I feel better. I don't toss and turn over a whole lot of things that's saying I'm not supposed to do this, or I'm not supposed to do that, or I can't live my life like this or live it like this, you know. And you're right, when you come out of secret and start to just do what you feel is best for you, it kind of like settles you down and makes you feel better. You know what I'm saying? And then I started seeing different things that was happening, and my life was going into a better direction. You know what I'm saying? When I stopped fighting what was inside of me,
Absolutely.
I just stopped fighting it. You know what I'm saying? And just and I feel a lot better. I have a long way to go. You know what I'm saying? But I'm
all do.
excited about learning this. And,
We all do.
And I'll probably be calling you.
Okay. And you know what? And it doesn't mean
more guidance.
And spiritual, you know, and adapting these spiritual practices, it doesn't mean that everything is going to be a cakewalk.
Right.
Because I'd be lying if I told you that. But what it does, it helps you deal with whatever it is that you're going through. It gives you the ability or alternative ways to get through whatever it is that you're going through, you know, because I've had some very challenging, you know, moments and times, but what I say that I was always optimistic. I didn't want to hear sometimes that, oh, it's going to be better, it's going to be this. I didn't want to hear that. I wanted to see it, you know, but once I went through and learned whatever lesson I needed to learn from that teachable moment, I was like, man, I'm glad that happened, you know, but it's never good when we're going through something though. But I'm just thankful that, you know, I had that foundation to assist and it'll be there to assist when I go through something else again, you know. Right. So it doesn't mean that your life is a cakewalk or, you know, this sky daddy drops all of this stuff into your lap. It doesn't work like that, you know. Like I said, it just helps you get through. It helps you get through life. It's a life tool.
I don't want people to take me wrong, because I still pray, but to have the comfort of, you know, I talk to my mom, I talk to my aunt, just to have the comfort of just knowing. And some days I can smell them, and people may not believe that, but I do, you know. But just the comfort of talking to them and still with praying, because prayer works. Prayer works, definitely.
Absolutely. You know, and yes, you do smell
what you're praying. You have to believe in what you're praying. You know what I'm saying? And you have to have that spirit that things will change, because you're right. It's no cakewalk. And I think sometimes, even as being Black, we have more challenges than the average person. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? So when you go through those challenges, the necessary thing is to change the mindset so that you won't go through it again. Learn something from it. Absolutely. And matter of fact, sometimes you can build off of it and make things a heck of a lot better, you know, or get to another level, because we should be growing every day. And I used to tell my kids that, what did you learn every day? You should be learning something different every day, every single day. And even in your adult years, don't think you know it all. Just learn something different every day. Even if it's learn something, you can learn something different about your children you don't even know because you're not paying attention. So just learn something different every day. Pick up something different. Don't be in the same place all the time. And I think this is where the frustration, the stress, the pressure, the depression, all of that comes from. Because we want to be safe. We want to stay here and just be safe.
Absolutely.
You got to venture out. And you know, safety is not guaranteed. So you got to venture out and learn something different and embrace somebody else's differences. You just because you believe one thing, don't shut down and like, I'm not doing that. We have a habit of doing that, and we close ourselves off from so much, you know. So we need to just embrace a lot of different things. Even when I'm having a bad day, like this morning, I woke up and I just did not have a restful night, and I went to the park. Everything, man, breathing in that fresh air and the oxygen from the trees, exhilarating. And I came back home with a whole different mindset, whole different inner peace, you know. And you have to just do that sometimes. Take a walk.
Yeah, absolutely. Pay attention to, and you know what? Even pay attention to, sometimes we have to, because like I said, it's all about forces of nature, right? And sometimes you just have to even pay attention to what nature is still showing you. Even in the city, you know, I look at birds or whatever animals it is, or whatever it is that has to deal, you know, or have to do with nature. I pay attention to everything because it's always still signs and, you know, symbols that the universe is still trying to show you.
Right, right. Okay, so the name of the book again is Finding Soul on the Path of, is it Orisa?
Orisha.
Orisha.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it can be found on Amazon.
Yep,
And
that's
it's
it.
about $13 or something like that.
It's not my book. It's just a book, a go-to book, a book that I'm giving you. You know, I refer everybody. It's like an old 35 course in African spirituality. So yeah, that's it.
So it'll get us the basics and more greater understanding. And
Yep, if you're truly interested, that's, you know, just read it and let me know how y'all like
Amazon
it.
should be paying you a percentage because people, I hope that people will go check it out. I know I plan to. And also tolascreations.com and qtexclusiveboutique.com.
Yep.
And the last one, the medical transport.
That's okay because you don't have to give that. They just come and shop at Tola Creations and QT Exclusive. Look, all my other stuff is government contracts, so don't worry about that.
Okay,
Just handle this stuff right here.
Okay, so focus on those, everybody.
Uh-huh.
And again,
So we
thank
got some
you.
flash stuff for y'all.
Yes, she does very much so. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining Shypanther and Friends. I truly enjoyed this show so much, and I always go back and re-listen to the show because I'm usually fidgeting around making notes and everything. But thank you again, and we have to have you back actually if we can.
Absolutely.
Yeah, especially
Absolutely.
once we get past this pandemic, so we can actually, be in one location.
Yeah, that's fine. But you know, Zoom is good too because I don't even have to travel or anything. I can do it from the comfort of home. So I'm fine with Zoom, but I'd gladly come back.
Yeah, 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 it's great. And I guess I'm one of those people who, um, I guess I have that energy. I'm one of those people that feed off of the energy and things like that.
Okay.
So it is nice when everybody can't come together. But you're right. I appreciate having Zoom because if it weren't for that, if it weren't for that, I would not have a show probably at all. Okay, and Marcella, thank you so much for joining us. You bring so much to the show every single week, and I want you to know that I truly appreciate you, girl. I do.
You're welcome.
Uh, okay, everybody.
Yeah, we're gonna have Tola on again.
Yes. Yes. Look, I'll come back.
Oh,
What y'all want to talk about next time?
we'll
Oh
get
man.
together. We'll get
Okay.
together.
Okay.
All right, so everybody, make sure you go to shypanthermediagroup.org. That's the website. And go to our YouTube and just keep following us, supporting us. And thank you guys. Take care of yourself, take care of your neighbor. God bless, and good night.
Good night, and don't
Good
forget to
night.
support Taylor
Oda.
Beard on.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye.